Hello. Today we will be explaining wages, international trade, and social dumping, and how they all fit together. So let's begin with wages. Wages are an employee compensation for work or services performed. They are based on the number of hours worked multiplied by an hourly rate of pay. Don't confuse wages with a salary, which is employee compensation quoted on an annual basis. Many countries require a minimum wage, or the minimum amount an employee may be compensated for their work established by law. It is up to a country's government to establish a minimum wage, but that only acts as a price floor for what employers pay their employees. Do you know your country's minimum wage? For example, in Spain, the minimum wage since July 2018 is 858.55 euros, which is 5.57 US dollars, quite low compared with France, which has a minimum wage of 12.09 US dollars. In the United States, the minimum wage is 7.25 US dollars per hour. The global differences in wages leads to differences in markets, leading us to our next topic, international trade. So what is international trade? It is the exchange of capital, goods, and services across international borders. International trade law includes the appropriate rules and customs for handling trade between countries. Before going into detail, do you know what the WTO is? The World Trade Organization deals with rules of trade between nations. There are two principles that guide international trade laws. The first principle, National Treatment Principle, says that imported and locally produced goods should be treated equally. The same should apply to foreign and domestic services and copyrights and patents. Secondly, Most Favored Nation principle ensures that every time a World Trade Organization member lowers a trade barrier or opens up a market, it has to do so for the like goods or services from all WTO members without regard to the member's economic size or level of development. When wages rise in line with productivity increases, they are both sustainable and create a stimulus for further economic growth by increasing households' purchasing power, and so they foster international trade. A problem that currently exists with wages and international trade is social dumping. Social dumping is a practice of employers using cheaper labor than that which exists in their country of origin. This can be done in two ways. One, by employing migrant workers who will work for lower wages in the importing country, or two, by moving production to countries with lower labor and wage standards. For the purpose of this video, we will focus on the latter case. Let's go back to our example of Nike, who used this form of social dumping. They contract out labor and production to cheaper labor markets in Taiwan for lower costs. This practice hurts the employees in both the importing and exporting country. However, the company, the exporting country, and the customer share the benefits. But does this make it an acceptable practice? The EU says no, and is currently trying to stop it. But how would you solve the issue?